From News 3 Now, this is breaking news.
Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for joining us. We begin with breaking news out of Oregon, where a house exploded on the 800 block of Oregon Parks Avenue right around 8 o'clock this morning. Thankfully, no one was injured. Take a look at this drone footage our crew captured in the last couple of hours. You can see half of the home on the left side of your screen is in pieces. Our crews have watched firefighters continue to dump water on the home at the right all morning long. They saw smoke and flames coming from that home earlier this morning. You can also see a debris field on the bottom of your screen. In the last half hour, police and fire officials held a press conference with a few more details about what happened here. Our crews have been on the scene all morning, and our Tahil Mouladeen joins us now with the latest. Tahil?
Right now, this area is considered stable, and fire officials tell me they're already starting to let people back into this neighborhood. Now, so far, they have been able to determine that it was a gas explosion beginning in one home that was still under construction and then spread to two homes on either side. No one was home at the time, so there are no reported injuries. Oregon Fire Chief Glenn Linsmeyer says they are still assessing damage to nearby homes and businesses.
We've had a lot of reports, and I think police department done. A lot of people have been shook up. Like you said, this is a very peaceful, laid-back, quiet community. This explosion really shook a lot of people. Really put a lot of people, at alert, because it's just something that doesn't happen in the village of Oregon.
All told, about 100 fire and law enforcement responders work to quell the fire, and right now they say the gas and electricity in the area is still off, but they expect they'll start to turn it back on as the day continues. They say their investigators will probably be on scene for the duration of the day to figure out how or why this explosion happened. For now, reporting live, Tahlil Muhiddin, News 3 Now.
Thank you. For neighbors in the area, it was a scary morning. Tom Petras says that he was outside when he heard the explosion this morning.
Today, I was out for a walk in the neighborhood closer to my home, and you could just feel the earth shake and tremble a bit, and that obviously was perhaps the explosion tied to the house. It was just, I mean, you heard a very loud boom, and it was, what you felt and heard all at the same time.
Many of you have been sending us photos and video of what you saw this morning. Take a look at this video from John Mountford, taken right after the explosion this morning.
Bobby, this house just blew up. That one's on fire. I ran in and saved the little dog. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
We've been gathering that footage and these pictures, and we are compiling it all on our website right now at channel3000.com. You can send us your photos at tips@channel3000.com. And the best way to get up-to-the-minute information about this explosion is by downloading our News 3 Now app. You can find the entire press conference, plus more of our drone footage streaming on the app right now. We'll be pushing out any updates to this story all afternoon long. Let's head out to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Greg Barnhart has a look at your certified most accurate warm weekend forecast.
Yeah, it's warm already in the 70s in some locations, 60s for most locations, but we're already approaching 70 or higher, so that's what we're going to be seeing for the rest of the day here. Already you see 68 in Madison, 73 in Lone Rock. We'll get up to the mid 70s. We'll get in the low 70s right now. Already 72 in Sauk City, so we're well on our way to getting much above normal, and that's our high temperatures, and they may be a little bit too low yet. We might have to see some mid 70s or even upper 70s in certain locations, along with the wind. That's what you'll also notice too. The winds will keep out of the south at 10 to 15 with some gusts of 20. We'll climb up in the 70s and then drop back down to the 60s this evening. There's your things that are going on right now. We're going to see the temperatures go on. That's the system that's approaching from the west, and that's what bringing the winds and the warm conditions up our way, along with drier conditions for the meantime. But eventually, we'll get some of that precipitation. Overall, there's your temperatures have jumped all the way across our area, and you can see cooler out west. I'll lay down on how warm we'll actually get tomorrow, and it actually looks like it might stretch until Monday before we actually get a cool down there, Mark.
All right, we'll check back in a few minutes, Greg. Thank you. Darrell Brooks continues his defense in Waukesha. Today, Brooks started the day off with arguing again with the judge. He said she wants the jury to know the truth about subject matter jurisdiction. Brooks then called Kevin Poplar to the stand. Poplar testified that the red SUV in the incident tried to avoid people at first, but then sped off after an officer tried to stop it. About 9 witnesses have been subpoenaed. The judge says she'd like to get through all of them today. Former Trump aide Steve Bannon received his punishment today for failing to cooperate with a congressional committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack. Skylar Henry has more.
A defiant Steve Bannon ignored protesters' shouts as he arrived at federal court for his sentencing.
Remember, this illegitimate regime, their judgment day is on 8 November, when the Biden administration ends.
A district judge sentenced the former aide to then-President Trump to 4 months in prison plus a fine. A jury convicted him in July of 2 counts of contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with a subpoena from the January 6th committee for testimony and documents about the planning of the Capitol attack.
Bannon, who previously called members of the committee gutless, becomes the first person with close ties to former President Trump to be sentenced to prison time in the fallout from the Capitol attack.
Trump's former trade advisor, Peter Navarro, is expected to stand trial next month. As for Bannon, the judge said he'll hold off on imposing the sentence while Bannon appeals. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And Bannon is also facing separate legal problems in New York. Last month, prosecutors there charged him with money laundering, conspiracy, and scheming to defraud donors who wanted to build a wall along the U.S. border with Mexico. Bannon called those charges politically motivated. Well, now on to the latest from the war in Ukraine, where President Zelensky is out with a new warning about what Russia might do. Both sides are preparing for a likely battle for control of a key province. This as Russia continues airstrikes on Ukrainian cities. The U.S. says it has information that troops from Iran are on the ground supporting Russian drone attacks in the area. The Ukrainian government claims Russia has ordered nearly 2,500 so-called kamikaze drones from Iran. The Pentagon is taking steps to make sure women in the military continue to have access to abortion. More than a dozen states have seen abortion bans take effect since the Supreme Court's Dobbs ruling overturning Roe v. Wade. In response, the Pentagon is moving to protect the privacy of military service members' medical information regardless of where they're based. Pentagon officials are also looking at providing travel and transportation allowances if service members need to travel to another state for care. The measure is also designed to shield military medical providers who perform covered abortions from facing civil or criminal complaints in certain states. Suicides among active duty service members dropped last year compared to 2020. A new report from the Pentagon shows 519 service members took their own lives in 2021. That was down from 582 military members in 2020. While that was encouraging news, the overall suicide rate among active service members is up over the last 10 years. With just over 2 weeks until the midterm elections, hundreds of jurisdictions are still reporting a shortage of poll workers. One reason is concern about their safety. The FBI recently said 7 states continue to see unusual threat levels against people who run elections. That includes Pennsylvania, where officials are racing to staffing gaps ahead of Election Day. Philadelphia recently boosted pay for poll workers $250 to work for more than 12 hours on Election Day. That's the first major raise since the 1970s.
So when people say things like elections are fraudulent and things of this nature, it's really a slapping indictment against America.
A survey by the nonpartisan Brennan Center says nearly a third of election officials know of at least one colleague who left in part because of fears for their safety, increased threats, or intimidation after the 2020 election. There's more to come on News 3 now at noon. The ride-share company Lyft starts testing a new feature, and a pasta maker is in hot water over its authenticity. That's next in the Money Watch Report.
You're watching News 3 now at noon.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel Community. Call today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
He made $57 million from a family business whose growth was directly linked to China. His dad worked the third shift in an auto plant. Johnson pushed tax breaks benefiting himself and his millionaire donors. Barnes will cut taxes for the middle class. Johnson would let states ban nearly all abortions. Barnes will protect our rights. Ron Johnson's extreme and out for himself. Mandela Barnes works for us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Menards is your bathroom headquarters. We've got the fixtures, tools, and know-how to get your bathroom project finished. Whether you prefer a traditional style, something modern, or a bold and contemporary flair, we've got you covered. With our huge selection of quality brands and a variety of styles and finishes, you'll create the perfect bathroom for your home. Delta bathtubs and showers are built for style, design, and durability. All Delta bath products are 11% off.
Save big money at Menards.
Habitat families build their own homes alongside volunteers, pay an affordable mortgage, and are grateful for your help. With safe and permanent housing, Dane County families can invest more in their health, education, community, and beyond. Please donate or volunteer today.
If you're on Medicare and Medicaid, it pays to pick a plan with the benefits you want. With the iCare Medicare plan, members receive a spending account card that gives them $150 total per month to spend on food, OTC items, utilities, or even rent. Members also have a $0 copay for all covered Part D drugs and dental and vision coverage. Call to speak with a licensed sales agent who will help you find out if you're eligible. Rest easy. iCare is looking out for you and your health.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel Community. Call today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
The Biden administration's federal student loan forgiveness program survived 2 court challenges Thursday. A federal judge in Missouri dismissed a lawsuit brought by 6 GOP-led states, while U.S. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett denied a request by a Wisconsin taxpayers group to put the program on hold. Millions of Americans have already applied for relief of up to $20,000 since the application launched 1 week ago. This week, Lyft began testing a new feature that allows users to search for and reserve parking spots. The ride-hailing company is partnering with Spot Hero for the service, dubbed Lyft Parking. The feature is available in a small number of select cities in the United States and Canada, with plans to expand to 50 cities by the end of this year. And a federal judge says a lawsuit alleging pasta maker Barilla misleads customers can go forward next month. It was brought by 2 California residents who say the company's marketing as Italy's #1 brand of pasta with colors from Italy's flag is false advertising, since the products they bought were made in the U.S. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Wendy Gillette.
Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrial's up 423 points. The NASDAQ up 102. The S&P 500 is up 41. Our call for action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. You're taking a live look at the Call for Action studio. Volunteers are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you can call for action right now at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam has today's egg prices next, along with your weekend forecast. And then tonight on Live at 4, the plastic pink flamingos are back as Fill the Hill celebrates its 10th year anniversary. That's coming up at 4.
Did you know Tim Michaels encourages violence from his supporters?
People should just be ready to get out in the streets with pitchforks and torches.
He's extremely divisive.
I don't care who I offend.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as governor?
Everything seems to be getting more and more expensive these days. And it's the same for your heating bills. Since it will cost more to heat your home this winter, USA Insulation wants to give you control over your utility bills. Our premium injection foam keeps the cold outside and your warm, comfortable air inside, right where it belongs. Call now before winter and get a $500 early bird discount.
USA Insulation.
Over 800 convicted criminals released. 270 murderers and attempted murderers released. 44 child rapists released. Tony Evers' parole commission has released hundreds of violent criminals early, including some of the worst killers in Wisconsin history. Evers' liberal policies are making our communities less safe. Tony Evers put criminals first and our family's safety last.
Hey, we're here at the local farmers market where Informed Choice Insurance Agency is offering fresh, hand-picked local Medicare. What do you mean when you say shop local for Medicare?
A lot of Medicare health plans have benefits that are specific to your county. So why would you call a national 1-800 number when your local Medicare plans have all the bells and whistles the national TV ads promise, only better?
Don't be fooled by national TV hype. When it comes to your Medicare options, keep it local with Informed Choice Insurance Agency, and their services are free.
Tim Michaels' company has been sued numerous times for sexual assault and harassment. Women said they were groped and pressured to have sex with their bosses. Those who spoke out were fired. Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as governor?
News 3 Now brought you the only debate between Governor Tony Evers and challenger Tim Michaels, focusing on the important issues facing Wisconsin and our nation. Committed to giving you a clear and objective view of campaign 2022. News 3 Now, your local election headquarters.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show, the legendary Babyface. He's writing songs on the spot.
Clean up on aisle 17.
Clean up on aisle 17.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report on this very springy Friday afternoon.
Oh, it's beautiful outside, and it's really where I want to focus everybody's attention. You know that with this kind of weather, Wisconsin farmers are going to be amping up the activity around the farm and out in the field. So, again, everybody wants to get outside and enjoy this weather. Remember, it's not about the enjoyment, it's about getting the work done. That's what farmers are focused in on right now. A lot of big farm equipment that's going to be on those highways and byways. If you're riding the motorcycle or if you've got a young driver that's going to be out there, please remind everybody, exercise caution if you see a piece of farm equipment there. It cannot respond as quickly as you might think it can. It's moving a lot slower than you may guess it is. And just remember, taking the shoulder, trying to pass on the left, all of those decisions you really need to slow down and make. Monday, I don't want to be reporting about some fatality or some accident that caused families some problems. So please remember, this is not about them enjoying the weather, although I'm sure they are. It's about trying to get the job done. That being said, I was talking yesterday with Dylan Beaver, who is a grain marketing specialist down in Cottage Grove. He said they figure that they're 75 to 80% complete as far as the soybean harvest is concerned. I just got done talking to Dr. Sean Conley, our University Extension soybean specialist, and he said yields are very, very good. There was a time in my life when I never thought I would be reporting on 100 bushel to the acre soybeans, and now they're becoming almost commonplace in Wisconsin. May not be a record-breaking crop for the state this year, but it's going to be probably our second largest crop as far as soybeans. The corn, some of it's still a little bit wet. Dylan Beaver was saying he thinks that with this weather we're expecting through Saturday, we may start to see people switch out from harvesting soybeans, moving on over to the corn. But remember, patience is a virtue for our Wisconsin farmers that have that corn still standing. As long as it's out there, they're not paying extra money to try to dry it down for winter storage. We're also keeping an eye on transportation arteries. Dylan Beaver said already they have decided that they are going to pivot from trying to use too much barge traffic to move this crop down to the Gulf, and instead are going to pivot towards rail traffic. So what they're hearing right now is there should be ample railroad cars available through the harvest to try to get our Wisconsin crops into the marketing channel place. Congratulations, Wisconsin dairy producers. The September milk production was up 2.62 billion pounds of milk, with fewer cows, 7,000 fewer cows this September in our milking herd compared to last last year. Barrel cheese today down 5.5 at $2.09. 40-pound block cheese, AA butter, they both stand still. But like I said, Mark, everybody wants to get outside and enjoy this, and I appreciate it. You think it's the last time you're going to take the classic car or the motorcycle or whatever it is, but just be careful if you see a big piece of farm equipment out there ahead of you. I know the temptation's there to hit the gas and try to, I can't drive 55 blaring in the radio, which shows my age, but please be careful when it comes to being around that farm equipment.
Great advice indeed. All right. Go Pack.
Go Pack.
Fingers crossed. Here's Greg Nelson with the forecast for the weekend. Looking nice out there.
It does. And we talked about the dryness and the corn that's trying to dry too. Look at this current relative humidities right now. We're into 30%, even 20% down to 25. So it's quite dry, warm, mild conditions. So it's good for corn. But also, if you are trying to burn anything out there with the winds, it is something to be cautious of because these are pretty low RHs, and we've had some drought conditions or dry conditions for the last week or two. So some fires could get away, and that is a concern for out west and south of the area right now. We're going to see these boulders of warm air from the west as that system out to the west begins to dig further south. They're going to get the rain and snow. We're going to get the warm air being pulled north through Sunday, and looks like even through Monday and Tuesday, most of this cold air is going to start lifting to the north. So we're not really going to get a nice cold air mass like we had earlier this week come through. So overall next week, more mild, more average temperatures, but nothing like we saw earlier this week with the 40s, more 50s. So we will not see as much, but we will see chances of rain eventually come into the picture here. For today, just cloud cover. The winds have been increased. We're going to see a little front kind of sag south. So up to the north, you might see some wind change tonight, but it's not going to do much other than just temporarily wind shift. And then tomorrow, once again, we're going to see the winds start to pick right back up from the south. Temperatures will continue to soar up into the 70s. You see that system is still not even in the picture by Sunday yet. Once it gets closer, the winds will even get stronger. So Sunday will probably be the strongest of the winds with 15 to 25, probably some gusts well over 32 with that towards the afternoon hours. We'll start to get some moisture then too. Overall today, low to mid 70s for most locations. You can see that wind shift coming late tonight up to the north. Really won't do much, but overall tonight down the south will be into the upper 40s for lows. Maybe up the north more mid to upper 30s. Tomorrow that thing kind of lifts back north. Winds overall can start to increase out of the south. So the temperatures once again are going to soar right back up into the 70s. Upper 70s, some locations. We may get an 80 in some of these spots, especially you get towards Iowa. They could see 80s for the next day for Saturday. And then Sunday, we're not going to see much change. Sunday night actually could be very mild, around 60 for lows for most locations. Then we're going to start seeing the winds pick up. Temperatures will be real warm. Winds definitely tomorrow, Saturday, and then once you get to Sunday, we could see some very strong winds, especially gusts above 30 to maybe even near 40 in some locations. So it will be a windy day, but nice. Thunderstorm possibility Sunday with that front. We could see some stronger ones out west. Something we'll keep an eye on it. If that impacts, it'll be more Sunday night into Monday. But for right now, the threat seems to be further west too with the thunderstorms that we'll see. Otherwise, as you see, the 10-day. Once we get past this, we do have rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Kind of low confidence on the timing of those chances of rain, but it will be unsettled those 3 days, but back in the mid-50s, which is about average. So we're not going to see a big drop, but definitely enjoy this last 70s because it might be the last time we see them.
Short sleeves for the Badger game tomorrow.
Definitely, and it'll be breezy, but yeah, it's going to be warm.
All right. Thank you, Greg. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you've heard of fricassee, but aren't sure exactly what it is, then you'll want to stick around for our easy version, and boy, is it ever good.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
When our clean, shiny truck pulls up in front of your house, everyone starts clapping because everyone is happy. Yeah! And that's why they all start dancing. We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
He made $57 million from a family business whose growth was directly linked to China. His dad worked the third shift in an auto plant. Johnson pushed tax breaks benefiting himself and his millionaire donors. Barnes will cut taxes for the middle class. Johnson would let states ban nearly all abortions. Barnes will protect our rights. Ron Johnson's extreme and out for himself. Mandela Barnes works for us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
GTW is different from the other personal injury firms because we actually do trials. We have gotten great results for our clients and will continue to do so.
All in to win. Gingras, Thompson, and Walks.
Precision engineering. Rigorous attention to detail. A Bryant Evolution heating system is so well designed, it's as much of a joy to install as it is to use.
Good to go.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
In Madison, contact Heating and Cooling Incorporated to maximize your comfort and energy savings whatever the season.
Join us at the Madison Fall Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns. Visit and get inspired for your 2023 building and remodeling projects. Go to MadisonParadeOfHomes.com and purchase your tickets today.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
All units, reports of an abortion at Central Hospital. Officers needed to detain doctor.
If Ron Johnson has his way, he wouldn't just ban abortions. Doctors could go to jail for it. And Johnson's tried for over a decade. He even co-sponsored a bill with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the woman. And said if women don't like an abortion ban, they can just move. But it's Ron Johnson who doesn't belong in Wisconsin.
When our clean, shiny truck pulls up in front of your house, everyone starts clapping because everyone is happy. Yeah. And that's why they all start dancing. We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
As the weather cools down, most of us start craving dishes that'll warm us up from the inside out. And even if the temperature doesn't take a big dip, the one-pot classic we're making today, chicken fricassee, will make you feel good through and through. If you're not familiar with fricassee, let me show you how to make a simple version of this French classic. The first thing we do is saute a cut-up chicken that we seasoned and coated with flour. Once browned, we take it out of the pot and saute some carrots, onions, and celery till they're tender. Then we add some chicken broth, a bunch of spices, and bring it to a boil. Next, we'll add the chicken back in along with some sliced mushrooms, and we'll let that simmer till the chicken's cooked through. Maybe serve this over some curly cooked noodles so they can soak up all that flavor-packed sauce. The nice thing about this, besides how easy it is that everything cooks in one pot, so cleanup's a breeze. To get the recipe for our classic chicken fricassee, check out our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an easy French classic way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Well, Frito-Lay is coming out with 3 new chip flavors in honor of the World Cup. The new kinds are Abadapas, which feature a combination of chili, tomato, and lime, bacon-wrapped jalapeno chips, and wavy Cartina's Street taco chips. All 3 flavors are available nationwide in grocery stores or at snacks.com. Lay's customers can also join the company's Pass the Bill challenge by scanning the QR code on the back of the chip bag. That allows people to register their image into a platform where they'll be able to root with other fans for their favorite teams. Someone could even win a trip to the final game. The World Cup starts November 20th and runs through December 18th. So chip up. All right, Greg, one final check of the forecast.
Well, it looks like a really good evening for all the activities. We got the Badger Parade game. We got high school playoff football. So everything should be great. Low 50s, 60s. Still some leaves out there, but we are probably on the last weekend for the peak for many areas. So especially with the winds coming, it might be the last good opportunity to see that. 70s, definitely through Monday. Breezy, showers Sunday. But then we'll have showers through Wednesday, too.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.